Northern News Now's anchor Dan Wolf is live tonight from the Split Rock Lighthouse. Dan, what a touching and emotional ceremony.
It really was, Laura. The grounds are now closed here. The beacon is shining bright, and that ceremony earlier tonight means so much to so many people, not just the hundreds who attend this ceremony every single year, but the hundreds of thousands who watch online from all over the world. That includes Coast Guard veteran Robert Caldall, who now lives in North Carolina. 50 years ago tonight, he was stationed in Duluth and a crew member of the Woodrush, which was the only ship to head out onto Lake Superior in the middle of that infamous storm in search of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Robert has never shared his story publicly until now.
Lives on from the Chippewa.
50 years ago, on the big lake they call Gitchigumi, Bob Caldall graduated school and jumped right into the military.
Initially, I was going to go in the Army, but then I saw an ad for the Coast Guard and said, let's do that instead.
After finishing boot camp in California, he arrived for service in Duluth in October 1975.
And lo and behold, November came around and
Caldall was assigned to the Coast Guard cutter Woodrush and had just returned from a week and a half on the lake when his crew began a period of R&R. On the evening of the 10th, Bob returned to the ship to find chaos.
Probably around 8 o'clock or so, and the group office was really scurrying around, and they were running messages back and forth.
The Fitzgerald disappeared from his radar screen, and he was the last one that was in radar contact with him.
So one of the guys said that they had a freighter that was missing.
Caldall ran to his car and used his personal CD radio to contact all the nearby bars and restaurants, telling them to send Woodrush crew members to the ship.
All the establishments started saying that they had like 1 here, 2 here, and they were all coming back.
With waves crashing into the face of the lift bridge, the Woodrush was about to become the only ship to head out into the storm in search of the Fitzgerald.
It was us and nobody. Crew started getting back on board and gotten everything warmed up. The CO had the crew ready the ship for heavy weather. We broke all shorelines and got underway. We were probably about 2 to 3 times our normal speed going through the breakwall. Going out the breakwall, we had waves going over the bow.
The brand new coastie couldn't believe the weather he was experiencing, and he wasn't alone.
The CO, I even heard him remark that he had never seen anything like this, and he was even questioning his decision to go out. But once he made that decision to go down the breakwall, there was no turning back.
When the waves turn the minutes to hours.
Now out on the lake, Caldall says the storm raged on. No sleep for crew members who had to hold on at all times. And at one point, the Woodrush nearly joined the Fitzgerald underwater.
The OOD pulled a grave error. He turned the ship, and we went broadside. We almost turned turtle. Fortunately, we were still angled a little bit into the wave, and the stern got caught by the next wave coming and threw us back and brought us back upright again.
Within 24 hours, the Woodrush arrived at the site that radar last saw the doomed ship. Caldall put on his cold weather gear, climbed up to the bridge, and pointed the spotlight out at the water.
Really, the only thing that we found was a life ring and some wooden spars.
Did you know right away, as soon as you arrived and saw what you saw?
Yeah, we knew. We knew that there were no survivors.
Might have split up, or they might have capsized. They may have broke deep into water.
Now imagine the waves coming through, Dan, smashing against that.
This is the man who introduced us to Bob Caldall, the popular YouTube Great Lakes shipping content creator known as Vibe with Mike. Until now, Mike and Bob's wife were the only people who'd heard Bob's story.
His wife initially reached out to me to get him to tell the story. Bob is cut from the cloth of all of those heroes that are out there that have served or will do courageous things like that. He didn't really want to talk about it because, in a way, people think that you're boasting or something like that. That's not the case.
Mike's a Great Lakes shipping historian. His home is outfitted with collections, gear, and memorabilia inside and out.
This is the auxiliary anchor from the Woodrush.
It's that reverence for history and the Big Lake that left Mike in awe the first time he heard Bob talk about November 10th, 1975.
Just think of going out on that ship, the way he described it. That takes guts, Dad. He said it was just a job. Put yourself in that situation if that's just a job. It's just incredible people like Bob that will go out to try to rescue another.
The iron boats go as the mariners all know, with the gales of November, remember.
It taught me a lot about the fragility of life and how quick it can be taken.
Later in his Coast Guard career, Caldall served as a survival instructor in Alaska, carrying with him lessons learned on that fateful night and the song you've been hearing throughout this story.
Right over my shoulder here is a Christmas gift. It's part of Gordon Lightfoot's song, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. You know, he's the 30th member of that crew.
Church bell chimes, till it rings 29 times. Each man on the Edmund Fitzgerald.
When you hear that first chord on that song, you think of the Fitzgerald, you think about Lake Superior. So it might be 50 years now, but I hope they're talking about this crew and this story 1,000 years from now.
We felt a sense of loss when we got out there that we'll never forget.
Bob served 21 years in the Coast Guard, but it was that night that sticks with him to this day.
I wish that we could have been there closer. I wish there was something that we could have done, and my heart goes out to the families. And I grieve with them.
Superior, the sand never gives up a day. When the gales of November come
While Bob was stationed in Alaska, he says he was caught out in a handful of storms in the Bering Sea. He says the Bering Sea's got nothing on the fury of Lake Superior. Laura?
What an amazing, amazing story, Dan. Thank you. And to Bob, thank you for your service and again for sharing your story with us. Dan, we're going to check back in with you in just a little bit. Well, we also want to shout out to local musician Rafe Carlson, who you heard in that report there. His cover of the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is out now.